Okay, how about now? Is everything good now? Yes, I actually it was showing the volume. It was showing the volume, but there was a setting that was changed. So hopefully I sound all good now. Okay, so as I was saying hello to all of you. Star Helix, great to have you here. Millie, Avalon, great to have you here as well. I hope you're all doing fantastic. And I've had a very nice weekend. It is relatively warm, so we don't have tea today. Instead, we have this drink here to keep us relatively cool. That is what we have today, and of course we have our famous mice. That's right, that's right, that's right. Famous world famous mice, including this one. You can't forget about this mice as well. I'm already quite warm, so I'm gonna take a sip of this drink. Hmm. Okay. All right. So let's see. I really like the a joke that you posted earlier, Star Helix. Hey Millie, pass the Dutchie, please. It's funny. And Millie I didn't even get it. I got it. I got it. It was funny to me. It was funny. I say I just dismantled my bed as the footboard was causing me discomfort at night. Oh, okay. That would probably be like me because I'm very tall. So in the bed, it would not be very good. Now would it? It would not. It would not. Say, can we do a tarot card reading like last week? Yes, I usually do it at the end of the stream. Yes. So we will take a read. We would take a read. And it was interesting because one of the cards that I got last week, I kept getting multiple times. So I focused on that card and then I resolved the issue with that the following day. So I had seen that card several times, so I addressed it appropriately. I would like to say hello to High Priestess. How are you doing? Whitney, Mal, great to have you all here. How are you doing today? I am doing pretty well myself, and I hope you are as well. Hope you're doing fantastic today. And say, yeah, we don't want to demonetize by explaining the joke, indeed. Oh, I just saw some hearts fly up. That's right. Boys, would you like to eat those hearts? Would you like to eat those hearts, boys? Here we go. I'll put them out for you. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. There you go. They ate them. They ate them. They ate all them. Ate all those hearts. How cute. How cute. Funny stuff. Okay. So our main topic for today. It's an interesting one because it's something that affects a lot of people. So let's get our background on here. Let's move me over a bit. There we go. Look, I can do that with ease. I don't have to shift my whole body. I can just move myself like that. So, red flags. Red flags in a relationship. Can you spot the red flags? What are the red flags? What are the warning signs for you? What are things that you have to be mindful of when it comes to a relationship that may no longer be serving you? What are some things to be careful of? Let's see, it's the heart of all the previous trolls on the channel. There you go. There you go. Let's get the hearts again. There you go. Ooh. Yum 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 yum. Ah, those silly mice. They're always so silly, aren't they? They just like to eat all of the delicious hearts. All of them. All of them. So, why don't we talk a little bit about, before we, just hop right into the red flags. This is something that give a little bit of explanation when it comes to forming any sort of relationship and some things that you may not necessarily be aware of that you do when you enter into a relationship or when you're interested in someone. Because the thing is, when we're not in a relationship, or when we're looking for some sort of relationship, we know what the boundaries are, we know what we're looking for, but then when we end up finding someone, we end up tolerating certain behavior that we normally would not do. We would normally not tolerate certain behavior. We certainly would not tolerate any sort of abuse being done to us, and things along those lines that can be very negative for us. However, the problem is a lot of people are blinded by the love that they have for someone else, that they're willing to see past a lot of those very negative things that end up causing them a lot of problems. And ultimately, this comes down to your own ability to reassure yourself that you are someone who is deserving and confident and who deserves a very positive and good relationship. This has to do with your own self-worth. Because if you're willing to tolerate from a partner or a spouse some sort of abuse, domestic violence, if you're willing to tolerate a lot of bad behavior that just keeps getting worse and worse and worse without really addressing the problem, or without really trying to resolve it, or if you have tried to resolve it and nothing is really fixing the problem, you continue to ignore a lot of the warning signs, a lot of the negative things that are coming out about the partner. You're willing to deal with all that because you feel as though, well, that is what you deserve. You don't deserve anything better. A lot of people can deal with that sort of thing because, as I said, you get blinded. You get blinded by love. This shirt is kind of messing things up a little bit, isn't it? It's like, whew. So yes, love can blind a lot of people because they're not able to think rationally. They just get caught up in the moment of, being in love with someone, that they're not able to really see things rationally. You really have to put a rational, or try to rationalize as much as you possibly can whatever it is that you're dealing with in this relationship, whatever the obstacles are, whatever the bad behavior is, and you have to be able to have some sort of boundary. So that is just the foundation here, that you have to realize that a lot of people, they're not able to really see things clearly when they're actively in a relationship with someone. But instead, what will happen is that they have to usually get an outside source to tell them, hey, look what this person is doing to you. Look how bad that they're being for you. Look how bad of a negative influence that they're having upon you. That's sometimes what you need. So, yes. Oh no, my mouse disappeared, I noticed. There you go. I put him back. I put him back. Too bad I can't just have a separate camera and just put him here, just kind of sitting in the back, but I don't know how I could, so. Let's say red flags I had before, when my partner would scoop in the grocery into my grocery shopping for their card points. Interesting. It really bugged you. Oh. Let's say they're blind to the ignorance of their own family members and make excuses for them all the time. Yeah, I mean that's another thing. It's like you can be blinded just even within your own family or other people that you're close to. It doesn't have to be necessarily romantic relationships. It can be any sort of relationship, whether it be family and friends, but it could certainly be romantic in nature as well. So, yes. I wonder if I can, let's see. Oh, I can. Look, I can actually adjust it like this. I can fine tune it so well. I can get these mice. There you go. There's those mice. Look at them mice. Anyway. I can just go like that without actually moving anything. It is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Anyway. So yes, that is certainly red flags. Lots and lots of red flags we have to be careful and mindful of. Because if we get all caught up in trusting someone else, blindly believing someone else without actually logically going through what this person is doing to us, how they're making us feel in a negative way, then we will never really learn the lesson life is teaching us. Let's see, my previous partner would just ignore me a lot for the first time and spend time with other people. But if I spent time with others, they'd get really mad or be questioning me on everything. So that is often a lot of insecurity, because if someone is, if you're perfectly fine with your partner hanging out with other people, doing things with other people, but they're not happy when you do that, then that's certainly a sign that they have some self-confidence problems. They have some problems with their own self-confidence, that they're not able to trust you, that they're not able to fully, really understand that you're not going to do anything negative. So they feel very insecure as a result. So it's a sad thing, but yeah, I think that is actually a very, very common problem, to be completely honest with you. I do. I think it's very, very common. Very, very common. Let's say the ex would make promises, and then the next day, everything would change and could no longer keep that promise. See, yeah, making promises and breaking them. That is such a horrible thing. It really is. If you make a promise, don't make a promise that you can't keep. There's no point. So just, if you're going to make a promise, be sure to stick to it. Oh gosh, I'm like disappearing. It's crazy. Okay, here's another red flag. I couldn't give constructive feedback with a friend on how he could improve his life, and basically blocked me on socials. Took a temper tantrum and haven't heard from in months. That is really awful. It really is, because it's like, if you can't be mature enough to just take feedback and just see how you can improve, because no one is perfect. No one is perfect. Everyone has to go through their journey in life, make mistakes, do things that are not good for them, and they may not even be aware, to have things improve. Okay? So, yeah. You really have to learn from those mistakes. You really do. Okay, so what are some other red flags? What are some other red flags here? So, perhaps your partner has some sort of sudden changes in behavior. Look, as you can see, the mind works in such mysterious ways. I cannot move myself over anymore, but yeah, you can see the mind, all the gears going through it. Maybe one of them changes. Maybe one of those gears changes. So the person has a sudden change in behavior. That can certainly be a major red flag, couldn't it? Imagine everything is going fine, everything is going normally, and all of a sudden it just seems like out of nowhere the person changes in some way. That's certainly a sign of something going on, something changing within their life that you have to be mindful of. So maybe what they're doing is, well, maybe they are meeting a new friend on the side, a new person that they're talking to, and all of a sudden, that person is, they want to give more time to that particular person instead of you. So they alter a lot of their schedule when it comes to you. Maybe they're more distant from you. Or maybe they start going out at different times. Maybe they just suddenly have a new interest or hobby. All these things that can cause major, major issues, because, well, all of a sudden, they are like a different person now. They seem more withdrawn in the relationship. They have brand new activities that just came out of nowhere. And they're spending less time with you and perhaps more time with other people, doing other things. These are things to be mindful of in a relationship. And the thing is, a lot of people may ignore some of these signs. They may not really pay attention to them. They may decide that Oh, it's just they're just doing different things or whatever, and they may just pass it off initially. But these are all things to be thinking about, be mindful of. What are the things that they're doing? Ryan, great to have you here. How are you doing today? Greetings to you as well. You change your name, didn't you? Before it was Let the Monsters In. Now it's just Ryan. Yes. How are you doing today, Ryan? Hopefully you're doing fantastic. Fantastic. Let's see, I'm doing well. Just trying to stay. Yeah, I was just about to say. I bet it's hot as heck in Arizona, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, look. I mean, I'm wearing this. I mean, this is see-through. It is sheer. You probably can't really. You can kind of see my skin through it, I guess, but you can't. It's just. It's only like this particular area, but it's still very, very, very warm, very, very hot. So probably should not have worn this. Probably should have just left this off and just left the short top. Let's see. It went from super cool to extremely hot basically overnight. Mother Nature's confusing. Yeah. Yeah, it was actually really, really cold the other day. That's why I am not drinking warm tea. Instead, I have my Roar organic blackberry lemonade. So that's what I'm drinking today. For the whole thing, which I already drank half of it prior, so I'm drinking the other half. Only 3 grams of sugar for the whole thing. So it is very good. Lots of vitamins too. You probably can't say it, but lots and lots of vitamins. Yeah. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. All right. So, yes, sudden changes in behavior can certainly be one of the biggest red flags when it comes to relationships. You just have to be mindful because we don't want to think that our partner is changing, that they could be cheating on us, that they could be having issues within the relationship. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're cheating, but it could be that they no longer love us or they have some sort of problem with us and they're not able to address it. So they become, well, that actually brings us to the next one. They become more emotionally withdrawn. So let me move myself. As you can see these two people here. Yeah, see these two. I shall be in the middle of them because I will be the person to help them get back together or to resolve their conflict. Okay. Yes. That tends to be. I don't necessarily help with like couples and that sort of stuff, but I usually do like one-on-one with other people. But it's kind of similar, because you have to be able to address the conflict within yourself if you want a relationship with someone else to work. So if someone becomes emotionally withdrawn from other people, they are withdrawing themselves from you. They're not interacting with you as much. And this goes hand in hand with the sudden changes in behavior. Although it may not necessarily even be sudden. You may notice over time they're showing less affection towards you, that they're really not showing you the level of respect or love that they once did, and they become more withdrawn. They're not really communicating as much with you. These are all such negative things that need to be addressed, because you don't want to end up like these two people here, okay? You really don't. Do you see that? This guy's looking away. He doesn't want to address his problems, and she's upset about something. She's just looking down. She can't address the problems. Yet they're both right here. So easy for them to just talk and try to resolve this conflict, whatever the problem is, but they just can't do it. It's too difficult for them. It's too challenging for them to just speak about what their problems are, because when we go to speak about some sort of problem that we have, it becomes very challenging for us. We're not able to do it. Why aren't we able to do it? Because we feel as though we are vulnerable when we open up about something that is negative for us, or we don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. We don't want to hurt our partner or spouse's feelings regarding something. So I look kind of like really like bright. Let me Yeah, still kind of bright. I mean, this is like the opposite where the background is like very bright, but this is okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Is what it is. Is what it is. So, yes, you have to be able to resolve a lot of those conflicts with when it comes to emotionally withdrawn. Why are you feeling that way? Can you speak to your partner about it? Are there problems within yourself that you're not able to address that you become emotionally withdrawn from them? Mm-hmm. You have to be able to address those. So look, the rats are going to imitate the people in the back, okay? He's going to be like this, looking away. This one's going to be... this is, he's looking away, and this one's like... I can't really... Okay, hear him. There. That is the best I can do. Ah. That was funny. That was funny. Funny stuff, right? Funny stuff. My drink is almost gone. It is like warm here. It really is. It is quite hot. It is quite hot. Hmm. Yeah. So these are all red flags to be mindful of, things to be careful of and to look out for in a relationship. Because, as I said, you don't want to be like these two people. You really don't. How do you talk to a partner who won't open up? That is a very, very good question now, isn't it? The thing is, when it comes to people opening up, okay, who would you say has a harder time opening up? Do you think it's women who have a harder time, or do you think it's men have a harder time? I would say it depends on the context, but I would say overall, I think it's usually men who it's a little bit harder for them to open up about how they truly feel about something. Men tend to be the one that hide things more, especially when it comes to emotions. If they're feeling bad, if they're feeling negative, they tend to hide it and say everything is fine. Of course, women do that too. That's to be real. But if your partner's not able to open up about something, here's the thing. So if you're approaching it as the man is not opening up about something, the last thing that he would want is for the woman to keep bugging him to open up, saying to try to say something. That's not going to work. That's just going to make the man even more agitated and upset and angry. Okay, so you can't force anyone to open up. Okay, you cannot force it. What you can do is try to really understand where they're coming from. Maybe you notice little things here and there of why they feel a bit withdrawn. Maybe try to do something that could cheer them up. Because they're not going to necessarily open up as much when they're in a very, very negative state. So if you can do something that will cheer them up a little bit, make them a little bit happy, maybe they would be a little bit more willing to open up to you. Whether that be go to one of their favorite places, or do something very kind and generous for them to really allow them to feel as though something very positive is going on. Now, of course, maybe not everyone is receptive to that. For very, very stubborn people, it literally may just take a third party to really, for this person to really talk with, to really open up a bit more. Because some people, they just really will not open up to their partner. Even though their partner should be their closest person, they may not open up to that person. So sometimes they may need to be able to talk one-on-one with someone else. That could be a therapist, but that also could be just a friend, to be able to get out some of their emotions so that they're able to understand them and comprehend them a little bit. And I think just being able to have reassurance that if you're asking certain things and you know that they're kind of resistant to opening up, you have to reassure them that you will never judge who they are, that you will always be there by their side, and really try to understand things a bit deeper. And even if that means that, you know, maybe they're not happy in the relationship anymore, and that's something that's weighing on their mind, and they need to open up, but they don't want to hurt you. So you have to be prepared for really anything that could happen, and you have to say, you know, it's like, I will support whatever decision that you have, even if it could be something that is detrimental to you. Even, you know, it could be something that does hurt you to some degree. Okay. Let's see, how would you approach and help a partner that was stable at the start but developed a gambling problem and so causes emotional disconnect and just general distance? Oh, that is rough. That really is. That really is. So yeah, I guess if you entered into the relationship and everything was fine, but then people change over time, obviously, you know, you really do have to communicate the best you can about why this is a problem for the relationship and for their own well-being, for their own mental health even, and for your finances. You know, you have to be able to communicate in a very rational manner. Like, this is something that is hurting you and it is hurting our relationship. And, you know, for stuff like gambling and that sort of stuff, if someone has an addiction, that usually would require some sort of third party to step in and intervene when it comes to some sort of therapy involved or things along those lines. So maybe not everyone is receptive to that, but so. This actually brings us to our next red flag here, which is, let me move myself a little bit. There you go. You can kind of see it here. Emotional manipulation. See the marionette of the lady here? So, let's see. How can I shall be the marionette controlling her mind. Okay? I can't actually pan the image, I don't think. That'd be great if I could, but I don't think I can pan the image, but it will. Doesn't matter. So, yes, emotional manipulation. What is this exactly? Well, let's see. Let me read this other comment first before we continue on. My girlfriend always wants me to open up more, but I don't know why. I'm just unable to in any way, even if I want to. Yeah, this has to do a lot with internally. You have to be asking the questions to yourself. Why are you not able to open up? Why are you withholding information? Why are you not able to speak up? Are you afraid that someone's going to judge you? Are you afraid that they may not like what you have to say? Do you feel vulnerable? And where does that vulnerability come from? These are all questions to ask. So when it comes to emotional manipulation, people can use you like, you know, they are the puppet master, controlling you. They will shape the way that you perceive them. There can be a lot of gaslighting involved. This is where things become a bit more in the realm of extremely negative in a relationship. Because the other things that we talked about are more subdued. You know, it's like, okay, maybe you notice a sudden change in your partner's behavior. Or you notice them being emotionally withdrawn. Now what they're doing is that they are directly influencing, and mind you, all these things can all be grouped together because they can all coincide at the same time. So they can actually manipulate you in ways that you never thought imaginable. They may tell you something, they may lie directly to your face, they may gaslight you. They may gaslight you and basically say that, you know, what you thought you saw, what you thought you heard, what you thought happened didn't actually happen. So these are just awful things that can happen in a relationship. How can you avoid being manipulated? Well, that kind of goes back to the very first topic that we talked about here, which was not being blinded by love. Because when you're blinded by love, you will tolerate things that you never thought you could tolerate before. You would tolerate bad behavior. You would tolerate being manipulated because you think that's just part of the relationship, or you think that that is what you deserve in a relationship. So if you're able to see past that and just say, you deserve better. You deserve people who are going to respect you. Then you start getting out of this mindset that you're being controlled and manipulated. But a lot of people may not necessarily even know that they're being manipulated. So this takes a level of awareness within you. What is your partner doing that's bringing you down and making you feel bad? How are they lying to you that you may not have even thought were actually lies? Maybe they lied to you once about they're going out somewhere, but then hours later, they're still not home, and they were out cheating on you with someone else. Okay, maybe you tolerate that one time, but what if it happens again and again and again, and you just keep falling for the same lies again and again and again? At that point, you should realize that this is a major problem, and all they're doing is manipulating your own feelings, making you feel bad so that maybe they can come back and apologize, say that they will never do it again, manipulating you. It's like, I love you so much, I will never do that ever again to you. And they keep on doing it, and it's just a roller coaster of emotions going all over the place. Yet, you continue to stay with this person. You continue to trust them and believe them. Why? That is the biggest question. Why? So you have to be able to be strong enough to pick yourself up from that negative behavior that they're doing. You really do. Let's see, I've learned that you need to recognize it's not a carnival. Those are red flags. Yes. You must be mindful of the red flags. Okay, what is our next thing here? Another red flag is disrespecting boundaries. You probably won't be able to see this one, but there's a woman here and she says no. Let me see if I can move it. I cannot move myself, but look, it says no, okay? She has her hands up and she says no. What are your boundaries? Like, look, she's saying no to me. Look at my, she's like, her hands are like coming out of my head. It actually looks really nice, doesn't it? Anyway, let me bring myself out there. I shall do her pose. No. There you go. Let me line it up. No. Okay? You have to be able to put your foot down and say no. You have to be the one, whenever someone disrespects your boundaries. What are the boundaries in a relationship? How much are you willing to tolerate in a relationship? You have to set the boundaries, because no matter if you can have a very close friend or a romantic partner that you've been with for many, many years or married to this person, you still have some level of boundaries. And when your partner constantly disrespects your boundaries, pushing those boundaries, or just breaking them entirely to the point where they just don't even care about you, then you have to put your foot down and say no. You have to say no to this person because they are disrespecting you as a person, which is showing you that they don't care about you. They don't care about you the way that perhaps you care about them. So if you're not willing to say no, then again, it goes back to the very beginning. You feel as though you deserve being treated this way when you don't. You don't deserve to have your boundaries disrespected. You don't deserve to have people in your life that are constantly bringing you down and taking advantage of you. So that's why you have to say no. I can't say it, but look, it says no, because you know what? I am blocking the no. I'm blocking the no because I say no to her no. Okay? So I say no to her no. She said no to me. I said no. No, honey, I am blocking you. Okay? This is almost done. It's done. it's done. So, so yeah, put your foot down and say no. Even if it hurts the other person's feelings. You have to say no. How do you have boundaries with family when family can pressure you to be nice to save face? So I would say, if you're an adult, your family has no control over you at that point. Okay? If you're an adult, you can just put your foot down and say no, which has to do with your own ability, no matter how hard it is within you, to say no to these other people. You may feel as if you are guilty, or you may feel bad for saying no to them. Because what they're doing, you have to factor this in. A lot of times, if they are trying to pressure you to do something, that's a form of emotional manipulation. They are manipulating you for their own benefit, disrespecting your own boundaries of what you are willing to do. So you have to be very tough, no matter what, and just say no to them, as difficult as it can be. How do you get to that point, really, though? See, that is a very tough one, but it has to do with you detaching yourself from this emotional manipulation. It really does go back to that. It goes back to that emotional manipulation where you feel as though if you don't do what they say, you're going to feel bad about yourself. You have to learn to not feel bad about yourself for having boundaries. If someone asks you to do something and all they do is take advantage of you, and it's very hard for you to say no, you have to do what this woman says and say no to that. You have to say no. As hard as it can be, and you have to learn to not feel bad for saying no. Because you have boundaries, and these people have broken these boundaries, have broken your trust, they have manipulated you on countless occasions. They only maybe contact you when they want something. They only really care about you when they want something from you. So these are all signs that, people are manipulating you, controlling you, that you have to put your foot down and say no and stick to that. Because you shouldn't feel ashamed for having some sort of boundary. So getting out of that mindset will certainly greatly help for sure. I once had a girlfriend tell me to kick rocks when I told her I wasn't comfortable with her friends making sexual jokes. I don't know what that means, huh? Kick rocks, okay. I have to look. Wasn't comfortable with her friends making sexual jokes. Kicking rocks, is that a sexual joke? It's a slang term, let's say. I don't know. I have no idea. So I guess what it is she's just saying, yes, okay, I got it. Go f yourself. Okay, so yeah, if she broke your boundaries and trust by saying, hey, I'm going to continue to do this, and you said I don't really like that. It's like, oh, just go f yourself, essentially. Okay. Yeah, it is a shame, and that's an awful thing. It really is. And the last thing when it comes to red flags. There we go. Let's see what we can see here. Yes. Abuse, control, and possessiveness. Perhaps your partner constantly wants to control the things that you do, the people that you talk with. They want to go through your phone nonstop. They want to know everything that you're doing, just like what we talked about earlier. Yet, when that same pressure is put upon them, they don't want that. They don't want that. So, much like this here, the woman is very controlling of the man. Maybe she, went into his phone and she saw that there was a random text message from someone. It's like, who is that? Who are you talking to? I never gave you permission to talk to that person, you know, it's like they're very possessive, they're very controlling. You're only able to do what they say that you want them to do. In addition, they may track your movement. You know, you say, oh, I'm going out somewhere. Oh, okay. I'm going to be tracking you on my phone, watching you. Because the thing is, people who are like that, like this woman right here, she's very controlling and possessive of her man here. She lacks a lot of self-confidence. She's not able to trust someone that she loved. She's not able to put trust into this relationship. Instead, she has to try to control and manipulate him to comply and be the way that she wants him to be, as opposed to him just being his natural way and she being able to trust him. So this is kind of like the final stages of such negative, bad relationship, where your partner is so abusive, they're controlling, they're monitoring everything that you're doing, they want to know everything that you're doing. And they can do all the other things. They will get mad at you, they will try to control your life, they will always disrespect your own personal boundaries that you have, they will manipulate you beyond belief. So these are all things that are just horrible when it comes to relationships that other people can do to you. It's an awful thing. It really is. It's absolutely horrendous. So you have to ask yourself, are you willing to put up with this? Are you willing to put up with this? Right now, you could say, no, I would never tolerate something like this, okay? But the thing is, as we talked about at the very beginning, if you're blinded by love for this other person, you would tolerate this behavior because that you think that is what you're deserving of. You don't think that there's someone better out there, that you deserve better for whatever reason. And you have to realize you are. But that's a hard thing. People don't realize that people who do that are good at hiding it. They may throw things instead of hitting. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could be actually, I'm glad that you mentioned when it comes to hiding it, because this couple right here, this could be how their home life is. But when they go out together, that's the other thing. Maybe they always have to be going out together, always doing something together. They can never do something by themselves. When they go out together, guess what? They seem so happy. They seem so well together. Everything seems fine. Like no one would know that this sort of stuff goes on behind the scenes. But it does. It does. With my ex, I learned an entire language just to be able to spend more time with him and actually understand his humor more and his movies he watched. Now that it's over, I realize I did all that effort. All that effort, maybe you're saying, for nothing? I don't know. Interesting. Interesting. Hmm. What was the language that you learned? That is very interesting. So you did that just for your partner. That is a lot of commitment there. That really is. That is quite impressive. Very, very interesting. So, yes, those are our red flags of relationships. I did all that effort for nothing, and I put in all the effort for the relationship. German, okay. Yeah, so it sounds like you were giving more than they could reciprocate, plain and simple. You know? They were not able to give you as much as you were giving them. You have to be able to find someone who's willing to give you as much as you were giving them, or to be able to have a, you know, some level of I don't know what I'm trying to say. Some level of compromise. Okay? Especially if it is people from different cultures as well. Because yeah, if you had to learn a different language, these are people from different cultures. They may not have the same standards as you. So okay. Let's see. I would like to add a red flag of love bombing, as last time someone did that with me, they were a scammer. Ah, yeah. So if you're talking about like online and all they do is just like, yeah, I guess bombard you with all this love stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I would raise major red flags for that, for sure. Polish, English, and German. Wow, that is amazing, Millie. That is amazing. Polish language, Polish, English, and German. Which is the easiest for you, and which one's the hardest? Is Polish your native language? Hmm. Very interesting stuff. Now, so to kind of sum up the whole thing here, really, you have to be mindful of what your partner's doing to you, how they're making you feel, and how much you're willing to tolerate. And put your foot down and say no when they start, controlling you. Okay? So, we shall now head back to my room. We've gone on an adventure. We are now back in my room. There we go. Recenter it. Get the mice in here. There we go. We're now back. We have teleported back to my room. Let's say one of my exes used to demand that I publicly showed how I adored her, but felt weird when it came time for her to do the same. Ah, see, look, double standards. That is a major issue. Polish is my native language, then English, then since 2 years ago, German, and German is the hardest. Ah, okay, okay. I mean, is German the hardest because that's the one you learned last? Could be. Could be. Because usually when you're learning a different language, the younger it is, the better. It's very interesting. Like when I was in middle school, there was Spanish class, and I did not like Spanish class. I'm like, I'm just gonna block it all out because I did not want to learn Spanish. So I was like, no way, please, no, thank you. So I don't really know any Spanish. Anyway, let's see what our theme of the week is now, shall we? Let's draw our one card of the week, and maybe others to clarify here. Let's see. See, I asked my German friend if he knows the square root of 81. He said 9. Guess he didn't know either. That's a funny one, Ryan. That is a funny one. Oh my gosh. I just know the word senorita. You don't know hola? Hola? I mean, I think that we all know some words in different languages. Maybe not many, maybe not enough to actually, have a conversation and such, but let's say German is the one I had to learn independently than the others two I learned because of the amount of exposure with the language at a young age. Yeah. So anyway, let's see what our one card theme of the week is. Let's see what it could be, folks. We have the Hierophant here. Let's read the description. This is the helper, because maybe for this particular week, maybe we need some sort of help. Indicates help from a wise, trusted person. So it could be maybe after watching this, after listening to this, you realize that there's some sort of issue within your own relationship that you need to resolve, some sort of conflict within your relationship. And maybe you do need a third party to come in and intervene and step in to be able to help you realize some things. So, yeah, that is our theme of this coming week here. What are some things that you can be careful of and mindful of, and maybe venture forth with some level of help to change a negative relationship? Okay. And now that could also mean, it doesn't have to be specifically when it comes to that, but it's about love and relationships is our theme today. So it could be. And I shuffled the deck again and I drew another one and I got the same card. So yes, it is reinforcing. It is reinforcing the fact that we need help. We need help. We need some level of help from someone or something to really help us. Let's see. In Polish, all you know, one word, and we all know that it's the one starting with K. I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head, no. I shall bid you a fond farewell. Smelly orphans to track you down. Oh no, the smelly orphans. The smelly orphans. Alright. Smelly orphans. Oh my gosh, I tell you. Smelly old orphans. Star Helix, thank you so very much. Rooster. Great live stream, so helpful. I am very glad about that. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. So, yes, we shall be live again next Sunday. Next Sunday, we shall be live again here. So, yes, tune in again next Sunday for another excellent Rooster-tastic stream. Isn't that right, boys? It is right, ladies. Boys and ladies, we just want to thank you for sending in all those hearts for us to eat, because we love to eat organs and bloody tissue. Boy, that is disgusting. No one wants to hear about that, okay? Okay. Oh, I see more in the chat. Here you go, boy. I will put him onto the stream here. Wait, do I have my reactions off? I think I may. I do. There we go. Ooh, yum 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 yum. I love that. I love that. Anyway, folks, thank you all so very much for tuning in. I'll see you all again next week. Take care. Have a great week ahead. And thank you all for tuning in. Again, bye-bye. Take care.